Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome, welcome. Another big week on the charts, and what do you know? Gold yet again at all-time highs. And let's get shown the road, guys. As always, good morning, good afternoon, a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Welcome to everyone on both YouTube and TikTok. Hope you guys are all doing well. So yeah, gold still continuing on its merry way, still not pulling back at all, still could continue to the upside. There is nothing yet to suggest that we are ready to make any sort of pullback, but anyway, at all-time highs. Let's quickly take a look at the news moving forward here today, if we do have anything scheduled for our stream. Let me just refresh that. That was from Friday. So there's we got prelim CPI for Germany, so that will have a big impact on the euro sector. May impact the pound as well a bit, something to keep a bit of an eye on. This is all day. I'm not too sure as to what the scheduled time release is for that, so we'll need to be a little bit wary of that, and of course any potential breaking news moving forward. Guys, if you could, you guys on YouTube, you know the drill, smash that like button for me. TikTok, hit that screen, and any questions, any charts, or any pairs you'd like me to look at, feel free to send those into the chat, and I will probably do so once I've done the analysis. So guys, let's get cracking, and let's start with, as always, the gold and top down analysis. So starting at that weekly, previous weekly, very strong bullish, current weekly, higher low, higher high, obviously off to the races at the beginning of the week. So very strong bullish in a weekly. I mean, look at this, guys. We've had one bearish candle for the whole year on the weekly time frame, so it's just in a massive bull run is gold. So it's very risky trying to short it, trying to trade against the trend at the moment. So based off that weekly candle and the current weekly candle, current daily candle, I'm more likely going to be looking for the buy options, just waiting patiently for those to potentially present, whether that be upon the pullback or perhaps continuation above the high. On to the daily time frame. Now what we have done in the daily is we've obviously created that higher high. We have since adjusted our level now as to where the structure, what I call the last significant higher low, which is now moved to around that 3000 flat sort of point. So we're well off at the moment, but anything could happen. Anything could happen at some point, and we'll make a bit of a pullback. Anyway, that is the level. If we remain above on the daily at this point, we're still going to be bullish in structure. But again, we're using the daily candle probabilities as well. We have created a decent low wick, broken above the high of that previous daily candle. We are shooting for the stars at the moment. Onto the 4 hour, and obviously that is also so very bullish. We're about to close the current 4 hour candle. Wasn't interested in taking a buy prior to it. Thought I'd best wait for it to close. Very early into the proceedings for the week. It's the first I've properly looked at the charts today, pre-stream, so thought I'd wait for this 4 hour candle to close. We've got no data to the left. All we can target are those psychological numbers, the quarter numbers, the whole numbers, the round numbers. So I'm looking at 31.25 as the next potential target, and then 31.50 to the upside. As far as the 4 hour structure, that won't technically flip back bearish until really below 3012 sort of region, so we're well off it. Got a bit of a pause within price action just here. Potential level that we could pull back to look for some buys from. We'll pull back to that point on stream. Highly unlikely, but anything could happen. All right, so we're just going to adjust this now, because the 30-minute structure will remain bullish as long as we remain above this swing point. I'm just dragging down to that wick a little bit lower down, and so what we can see is obviously the 30s bullish. Just made another move on the 15. Wow, look at that. Look at that. So again, if anyone is in a buy right now, well done. A little bit early for me to get involved. What I can see is within the current daily / weekly, we have formed support on the way up. Now, as per my rules on a Monday, we are bullish across the board. I'd only be considering options to buy it, whether it be above the high or upon a pullback. So my first option would be pull back towards that 31.0708, form support back above this 15-minute support. At that point there, I could look for my options to take a potential buy. Now, further options upon the pullback, if we do pull back to create that higher low. So really just looking for the buys above at this rate, buys above the levels of previous support. Now, I will call, I probably won't get involved though in potential sell counter trend sells. Reason being is it's bullish across the board. I just have to stick to my steadfast rules that work for me, not get involved in FOMO, but I will give you the guys the option. It's as simple as just waiting for a nice strong closure below the most recent support formed on the move up, retest, and then we're likely going to make a bit more of a pullback. A little bit choppier though on the 5 minute. You got support after support, so I mean it's not the cleanest to the downside, which is kind of evident with these long wicks to the other direction, and these bullish candles would suggest that on the 5 minute there's going to be a little bit of traffic. But however, I will call the potential sell option if it does present. But otherwise, guys, I'm just patiently waiting for the option to buy it. Now, above the high, what sort of option may we have? Well, don't like the rejection just now, to be honest. Probably need to see again. Okay, in all honesty, I prefer for this candle, which is about to close the 4 hours, close a little bit higher up, and then to simply wait for a pause. Wait for perhaps the new 15-minute candle on the new 4 hour, close back a pause candle, creating a lower wick for the 4 hour, and off the back of that, that's when I may consider continuation buys above the high. So I'm likely gonna wait for a little bit of a pause. Otherwise, the fact of the matter is I may not be able to get involved in the move. I will consider an option on the 5 minute as well if it does present. Do I have a valid option? Not that I want to take it just now. I mean, sort of closure off the 4 hour. Not quite. It's not quite valid at the moment for an entry based off the 5 minute. But anyway, guys, we're about to close this 4 hour candle. EU Open is upon us, so we're going to wait for that before considering any buy option. In the meantime, hopefully that made sense. Make sure to smash that screen. TikTok, YouTube, you guys hit the like button, and let's move on to have a look at the GJ. See what we can come up with on pound yen today. So looking at the weekly, so we've had consecutive bullish candles leaving long upper wicks, closing closer to their low than the high, suggesting that perhaps we're still grabbing liquidity from this higher time frame resistance, but failing to close above suggests that we begin to break below that previous weekly candle. I feel there's a good chance we could make perhaps a deeper pullback here on GJ. Don't really have much of an upper wick. Just going to mark in high. I've got a tiny upper wick. We'll mark in a higher daily candle, marking that previous daily low as well, or weekly low, sorry. But we are, however, weak bullish on the weekly time frame. Looking at the daily, do remain bullish in structure. We are so far bouncing off support, which lines up with some previous resistance to the left. It's also the last significant higher low. So if we did close below these wicks at around that 192 flat, we're going to flip the structure back bearish on the daily time frame. So we are technically bullish at support, but what we do have, we were to look for sells based on the daily, and in order to add confidence to looking for any sells on the minor time frames, is the fact that the daily does have a lower high, lower low to that previous very strong bearish candle. On to the 4 hour, and that is to flip bearish. So the 4 hour, we've got a bearish structure now. The most recent resistance on the 4 hour is far away, but we'll mark it in. We'll likely remove it shortly, just for aesthetic reasons on the chart. As far as support, most recent 4 hour support we've got, I mean, on different providers, that candle may be a bearish doji, so that means we're pretty much tapping into some 4 hour support. But aside from that, on this chart, we've got the next level of supports around at 192.30 sort of region. We've just broken through a previous level. We'll likely mark in something now on the 30. So bearish on the 4 hour, bearish on the M30. This current swing point, again on a different provider, you would have some consecutive candles pulling back in the opposite direction. I'm pretty sure no, we don't have it here. For me, it's more of a pause, but if we were to begin to break above that pause, start to hop back above some 4 hour support to the left hand side with the structure and the bias. Well, the structure is bearish in the 30, but with the bias being technically neutral, may give me options to look for potential buy from these lows. Just going to adjust these zones a little bit, and what we can see is as well, just going to incorporate the low of this 30-minute candle. I'm pretty sure it's a bearish wick on 15, bullish wick, sorry. Just a little bit higher up. All right, we'll use that level. Go back to the 30. All right, so for me on GJ today, difficult trading now into the support. There is not a great deal of margin, to be honest. Below the previous candle's low, you've got not even 10 pips. When you're looking at the 15-minute time frame, you're at some support, so it's just not tradable at the current level for a sell. So my options for GJ today would be wait for it to simply pull back towards that 193.60, wait patiently for it to grab some more liquidity. Perhaps it's a new 4-hour candle that pulls back, form its upper wick and rejects that 193.60. Look for my options to sell it from higher up. So sells from that point there. As far as the buys, let's just quickly go down to the 15. So we can just adjust this. Highest point of any bearish candle on the 15 or 30 is that point, 193.60 as well. So for the buys, if we were to begin to pop above that pause, looks like we may have the margin to look for some options to buy it, bouncing off the 4-hour support. With structure being bias, being technically neutral, I would consider my options to buy. If we were to, again, if we were to break, you'll hear me say this often, no need for us to break a resistance previously formed on the way down if we were to continue bearish, and if we do so, close above, retest, begin to pull away from it. There's a good chance we're heading up to the next level around that 193.930. So I'll be looking for the buys based off that theory if it does present. Further options, if we do pop back down towards that 192.640, we have some clean traffic below that point there for our potential options to sell it down towards 192.10. Maybe will I consider buys from the 4-hour support. If we do pop back down again, I will consider what sort of options present. However, I would prefer to be in line with the sellers, just off the fact off the back of the 30-minute and 4-hour structure and the daily counter probabilities being to the downside. So that is my opinion of GJ and gold. And let's have a good one, guys. Let's see what the charts give us on stream, and if we can come up with another quality entry. It's been a really good March. It's also the last day of March, last trading day and last day in general. So let's just do what we do best and chill and wait for the right occasion to get involved in a trade. In the meantime, who we got here today? YouTube, I'll say good day to you guys first. It's not that many of you, so Lau as always, Franco, Carl, Steve, Josh, welcome to you, mate. 54K4. Daniel, hope you're well, brother. Cooper, just had my 3318 TP 3118. I think you mean it as soon as you start trading. Nice one. Yep, nice work. Josh already claimed profits, made 300 pips move since you opened. No rest of the wicket for the wicket. No rest for the wicket. Nice work. But man, appreciate you as always for reminding everyone to give the stream a like. Alright, so the 4 hours just open. I do have a valid 5-minute option presenting. Oh, I like it though. This early into proceedings. Not sure if the momentum is currently there at the moment. I mean, that sounds ridiculous because it's in a massive uptrend. Obviously, it just keeps pushing and continuing on strong. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get involved in an impulse entry to begin the week though. TikTok, welcome to 37 of you currently on stream. Appreciate you. Welcome to new followers as well. So I do have a valid entry based on the 5 minute, guys. If anyone is interested, it's literally just going to be a buy stop above the high. I'm not completely convinced, to be honest, but I do actually have a valid entry based off one certain strategy I do use, one certain edge in the markets. But I'm going to wait for a bit of a pause on at least the 15-minute candles, and that's when I'll look to pounce on potential gold buys. So that's my preference at the moment. Okay, TikTok, what have I missed? Hot Babe Invest? Hot Babe Invest? Sorry, I gotta really take my time trying to read these names. Welcome to you. Who else? Thank you for sharing the live. Someone shared it, I think. Sorry, I'm just skimming through to see if I missed anything. Carter, Prop J, Carter Prop Joe 5. You're in gold trade. Nice one. Long gold. Nice work. Alexandra, hello to you. Carter, it's, yeah, it just continues on. Already made 500 pound. Nice work. On Noom, HMT 38. I'm in gold since 2061 with a lot of nice one. Yeah, so there is a valid entry on 5 minute, guys. 5 minute has made a bit of a pullback. It's grabbed some liquidity from the zone to the left. If it breaks its high, that would be the valid entry. Let's quickly look at GJ. Nothing on GJ at the minute. Stop loss would have to be below this swing. So around that 13, 14. It's going to be fairly wide stop loss off the back of that. Looking at the 15, you have counter probability to the upside if it begins to break. But once again, you're looking at a very wide stop loss. What are the spreads like today? I haven't even checked. Not bad. I see markets are still rolling with under a pip. Around a pip, which is very good. Carter, yeah, it looks like it potentially could. So I mean, off the 5 minute, that's the only potential entry I can see right now. I would love to see a little bit of exhaustion off the 15, but it's not. It looks like it's not going to give you that option, to be honest. So you probably need to be in right now if you are considering an entry. It's popping straight up. It just doesn't stop. It's a beast. Carter gone. Yeah, it looks like it could be potentially gone. It's also about comfort, guys. You need to be comfortable in your trade, so you need to know why you're taking the entry instead of just copying someone. You need to be comfortable after such a big move to be getting involved, which still makes sense, but you also need to be comfortable with your stop loss being very wide. So that's another thing you need to consider, all these things, guys. So I always say to my team, if you're not feeling 100% about it, just chill. Would have been an actually valid limit order, but never would have triggered in. Just realize that. So it doesn't matter. Would not have triggered in. I have that bearish candle, that pause candle. So one thing I learned the hard way, it took me a long time to learn this, was you don't need to always be involved. As tough as it sometimes is to watch things move, trade when you're ready. Don't feel rushed to a trade or to the charts, except when something goes without you. Tony Gold, good day to you, mate. Yeah, so I'm gonna wait for a 15 pause. That's my personal preference at the moment. And doesn't have to wait for me though. And just continue to fly. If anyone took buys above the high, you've probably got about 15 pips on the table. So for me, rolling with about 50 odd pip stop loss, it's just tough to justify just securing 10 pips. It's not worth it, to be honest. So have a look at GU. Daniel, crazy. Gold was like 3,000 a week ago. Yeah, I know, man. It was a matter of time till this thing just explodes. I've been calling silver for a long time. That is another one that is ready to really go to the races. Doesn't have much longer to go, and then it's just gonna pump. There is a really good chance there is not much on it down to the left. Yeah, so keep an eye on that as well, perhaps. What was I doing? GU. Carter Gold running right now. Nice one. Gold going to 31.42 for it. Yeah, I think it's... I don't know. You guys know my opinion of gold, where it's heading eventually. Eventually, often. You'll see 5,000 gold. Maybe even sooner than what you think. Not saying it's going to happen necessarily this year, but it will happen. It will happen. I called 3,000 very early last year. Very early. Also off the back of what was going on around the world as well. Man, look at this now. This is just... Oof, wow. To be... I have absolutely no FOMO at all when it comes to the trade. What I have FOMO about is... I want to actually be I don't want to say this without getting how do I say this without getting banned? I want to accumulate some physical gold more. So I actually want it to go down. I really do. That and silver, but they just keep pumping. Just keep pumping. Trades I'm not worried about whatsoever, because trades I can just get involved in another trade. There's no issue. There's no drama whatsoever. It's just becoming more and more expensive to accumulate though. Josh, yep, I've enjoyed the wave for the most part as well. It's been quite really, well, obviously been a massive uptrend, so it's been quite good to trade for the most part. Don't even have to be 10k in the next few years. I honestly think there is a good chance it could. Members, I think I sent you a link, did I not? Yeah, I've sent you guys a link if anyone wants to join. Anyway, I was gonna analyze GU, so I will do that just now. Gladiator, nah, if you're not in now, you can't just buy it. I mean, you can just buy it, but I think that'd be a little bit reckless. So I agree with Carter. You need to just settle down, wait for it to reset. I'm not in it. I'm not at all concerned by that. Yeah, wait and see. Anyway, GU. So the higher time frames just stuck in some consolidation here. No direction or no real clear direction in the most recent candles. On the weekly time frame, we did actually close back bullish, but we did close also over lower high, lower low to that previous bearish candle. So based off that, we are weak bullish. Looking at the daily, quite evident on the daily, just in heavy consolidation here. Structurally, it is bearish, having closed below this swing point. We won't technically flip back bullish at this rate. Oh, this is interesting until the highs. To be honest. What we do have in the current daily candle is, it looks like we've got a higher low. No, we've got a lower low. I'm just sussing this out by 1 point. So we've got a lower low, higher high. So potential liquidity candle. So if we begin to break our own high, potentially could look for options based off that, but we'll see what we've got in 4 hour and 30. 4 hours just in a nasty area. Gonna include this. It's gonna look ugly, big zone, and we'll adjust up to 30. Keeps rejecting this area. So you guys, again, you can watch me in a regular, know the significance in the 4 hour zones to me. They're why I draw them in gray, so it's easier to distinguish between stronger, higher time frame zone and the M30. Structure itself in a 4 hour, I'd argue to be bearish. So we got the daily was bearish, 4 hours bearish, weekly was bullish, and the M30, the all important M30, let me just suss this out properly. So it's bearish here. M30 is bullish. We're not closed above this swing high. We've broke above it. We've not closed above it. The M30 is technically bullish, and we've got a neutral bias. But seeing we are closer to the resistance than we are support, I'd rather sell it. Now, adjust this zone a little bit. There's not much we can do with it, to be honest. That wick is very off-putting. It makes it very difficult for me to look for any buys, because that is just one big area of resistance, and we keep rejecting it multiple times in a 4 hour. So for me, buying at the current area would be not an option, unless you're buying it on, if this candle closes as is and you're buying it to take it up to the high, but you don't have the margin for that really. So for me, for the buys, what I prefer in this situation for the buys above is nice clean move to cut through the zone to the left, then just patiently wait for it to pull back, form support, break the high low, and then look for an option to buy it. Otherwise, if in the next 11 minutes we form support, so let's just mark it in a little bit prematurely based off the 15-minute time frame. So if we do in the next 11 minutes form that support in the M30, this provides our potential entry point for the sells. We have form support, we've faked out. That's hence why I never take impulse entries out of consolidation. Look what happened. Dropped, only to close all the way back up, and now breaking above the consolidation. So if we did begin to approach the low of the current consolidation, close below it, reject, pull away from it, that would be the option to sell it. Otherwise, patiently just going to wait for the sells upon rejection at this rate of the resistance yet again. If it does reject, hold on. Yes, it sells below 129.70 roughly. That's my personal opinion of GU. It doesn't look fantastic. Gold rejecting. So what I've noticed is make quite a lot of these moves of late where it will make an initial push, it'll give you enough to get a quick scalp, and then it retraces hard, ends up closing the candle with a long wick, and then just continues up eventually. So it doesn't make it easy to get some really clean entries unless you just buy stopping, taking the impulse, which has worked quite well, so nothing wrong with doing that. But for me right now, what I'm waiting for on gold is, again, a 15-minute pause. If I get a weak pause, I can potentially look for a buy above the bearish candle high. Otherwise, I'd rather just wait for it to create a proper swing and pull back a little bit deeper. Cooper, you holding gold in a broker if you're certain it will go? No, I'm not, to be honest. No, it's something I actually, I mean, I'll just do it. I really feel like just doing it. But the thing is, I always get sidetracked and buy a stream and look to trade it. But yeah, I think it's not a bad decision. Just a low leverage. Obviously, we don't have high leverage here anyway in Oz. But anything could happen. I mean, it could drop down to 2,000 too. Who knows? But I'm of the belief personally that 5k is something that will be seen maybe in the next couple of years in gold. Josh, likely holding but moving. So yep. Brimman, it's on the YouTube stream right now, so the win rate is 80%, and that's been for over a year now. So, and it's about patience. Last week I had a cracking week. How many entries did we get? Last week, I think we had 2 streams where we got 2 wins on both streams. I only streamed 4 days last week. Friday, some would have got triggered in. I missed being triggered in by a tad on the limit order on GJ, but last week was phenomenal. That was a cracking week on and off stream. And some weeks are quiet when I don't get the right confirmations and I just chill. Very disciplined trader. Bruman, yeah, scalp. All right. 7 minutes remaining on this counter, guys. So let's see. GJ, that support on the 15. Otherwise, it's a pretty strong catalyst. You've got the bearish engulfing on the 15. Moss, look at GJ. Yeah, it's that support, mate. That's the only issue. Jay, no, I'm not. Definitely not shorting gold. Definitely not interested in shorting gold. It's in a massive uptrend, so I'm gonna try to trade against what is a huge bullish trend at the moment. I'm just gonna chill. The best potential of sales at this rate for me would be below 31.06. So one thing we can see is that NAS has made a big pullback and looks like it could continue towards that 18,350 sort of region. The tech stocks and crypto. Bitcoin's also still retracing, looking quite bearish at the moment. Altcoins as well, if anyone is interested. Ethereum looking quite bearish as well. Approaching a low set a few weeks back when we had the initial dump, and if it does begin to pop below that level there, I think it was 15 or 1600, or was it? Yeah, you're looking around that 1530, 1550 sort of region on an ETH, which, I mean, for anyone long term involved in ETH or interested, not a bad level to get involved. XRP as well, pulling back quite significantly in the moment. I'd like to see the $1.50 region be met before I consider any options on it. It's just a quick wrap, but yeah, so Bitcoin and tech stocks, cryptos on a pullback. Gold is just continuing to move away. Precious metals, silver has been much the same over the past few weeks, been absolutely flying. Anthony, you want to learn this? Well, you're on a good stream to learn. Shout for education on the daily. Splash Fonton, should we buy it 31.06? Look, that's entirely up to you. As far as a decent level to get involved in buys, I think that's a good level. But I don't just buy based on that, especially if it's not a 4-hour level. Limit orders for me have to be at really strong levels. This is not a strong level. So it could just burst straight through it and continue down, make a deep pullback. But it could also respect it, but I'd rather see the confirmation that we're going to respect it before I look to buy it from that level. Some would take limit orders and it will work for them, and that's everyone, again, say it every stream, so many ways you can skin a cat, so whatever works, whatever floats your boat. But for me, not at that current level, not for a limit order. So my team, those of you on the stream, we will be on for the education session a little bit later on. Feel free to drop ideas into the VIP chat too, guys, if you have any. Where do you learn about this? So yeah, so just watch the streams. You'll pick up a lot, and I mean, you can figure it out. Can't direct you to places because I'll get it banned, so I got to be very careful. Zillows Home, I do too. I've been looking into it for a while. Yeah, you learn a lot. You'll learn a lot from just watching me. Very disciplined, very patient trader. Where people get stuck and get themselves in trouble is feeling like they need to always be in a trade. So I always say as well, guys, you hear me repeat myself every stream, but it's true. Let the charts prove to you why you should take a trade. Don't jump on the charts hunting a trade, because you hunt trades, that's when you're going to make mistakes. You feel a need to trade, you will only feel justified if you do trade. You'll only feel justified if it's a win. Whereas I let the charts come to me and prove to me why I should risk hard-earned cash, and knowing that, you know, 8 out of 10 times, sometimes 7, sometimes 6, sometimes 10 are going to be wins if I just wait for the right moment. So there's no need to you know, jump in anything prior to it. No need to get, you know, FOMO and think I'm going to miss out on a move if I don't take it. Like for instance, gold just then. I wait for the charts to come to me. It's the best way to go about it, trust me. It can be boring, yes, but you also you're limiting, you're mitigating and limiting your risk, and you're also, it's just best for your mental, your emotional state. And trading can be, and it can really lead to a high anxiety, especially if you're not comfortable in it. So wait for, once again, the charts to prove to you why you should trade, and then you're more likely to be comfortable and confident in your entry, and you're not stressed. You know, there's a good chance it's going to be a win, and you accept when it's not going to be a win. And I prefer to manage my trades, so to limit the loss, and that works for me. Others prefer it to hit full stop loss, and that works for them. So each their own. 15's closed, low, strong, bearish. So there is no impulse entry above the high. Based off my rules, I need to wait for another closure. And if we close above, then I'll consider an option and buy it. But otherwise, the preference is for it to pull back. So no rush. Anthony, you tried doing it before, but I didn't understand it. Yeah, you need to, before you risk cash, you really need to understand everything, the terminology, everything. Take your time with it. proven. You should trade for the skill set, not the money. Yep, that's again, that's a big issue. People, I mean, everyone wants to make money, and I mean, it's a fact. The majority of us will. Everyone's trading because they know it could be financially rewarding, but again, can't be chasing that. You need to be focused about doing things in the right way, and the rest will follow eventually. Now, my way might not be the right way for some people. It's not for everyone, that's for sure. I understand that. I respect that. For me, it works. But I've seen some fantastic results in some of the guys I've been coaching for steady about 2 years now, especially the longer ones. But there's always going to be pain throughout. There's going to be setbacks. I've had big setbacks in my time of training. I almost quit a few times. That just builds strength and character too. If you can come back, get over it, start to trade with discipline, trade following your plan, not look back. Still remember that day, that bleak day, since I've not looked back. Never ever forget that day. Lost 10%. Didn't blow the account, but I lost 10% in a day once when I thought I was already a good trader at that point. That wasn't acceptable. That was about 5 years ago. And I took time off for over a week. Didn't look at the charts. After that, but what I did do is come up with a real solid plan as to what I was going to follow for the day, for the week. And I've stuck to it pretty much ever since. Alright, let's do some TA on EU. It's another popular pair. Alright, starting the weekly, long lower wick on that previous weekly candle, it closed back bullish. Suggesting we've grabbed liquidity from the downside, not really tapping into anything though. But based off that, if we were to continue bullish, and it's a good chance, don't need much for low wick. We're going to break the high of that previous candle that we could continue up. The issue is you're at resistance, and it is previous resistance to the left as well on the weekly time frame. Daily, structurally, still is bullish the way I see it. It will remain bullish. We've got a long way to go to flip it at this rate. I know we've created a lower low, but this is the high of the impulse to the upside. We have not closed above that high, so this is the highest point of the impulse, the initial impulse. So this is just micro trend, but what we do have, if we were to look for sellers, is we definitely got that lower low within the structure itself. Broken a high of that previous daily candle. So if we were to continue bullish, not much need now to pull back and break our own low. So we're going to mark in a daily low, going down to the 4 hour time frame. So bullish on the daily, bullish weekly, bullish 4 hour. By the looks of it. Oh, hang on. It's not high. Alright, so the 4 hour. There's no consecutive candle pullback until this point here, so it's technically bearish. And it's at resistance. So let's mark in 4 hour resistance. Change it to grey, significant level. We've rejected a few times. The most recent 4 hour support is this point here, 107.80 roughly. So technically bearish on a 4 hour, with bullish on a daily, bullish on a weekly. Now the M30 is also bullish, but the M30 is at resistance, so very similar to GU. We did try to break out and we'll break through that consolidation and pop back down to support, but we have rejected and since popped back up into consolidation. Form some support in a 15 that provides a potential entry point to the downside. If we continue to respect and reject this 4 hour resistance, begin to close below the most recent support, that point there, I'd be more interested in looking to sell it just based on where we are on the chart. Bias is technically bullish, but being at the 4-hour resistance, I would potentially look for options to sell it below most recent support formed. So it sells below that point there. Buyers, look, you might be able to adjust this zone. And you could possibly, I don't know if you got the margin, possibly look for buys above the daily high. No, look, on EU, you might be able to get 1-to-1. It's not much margin at all, about 8 pips, but still, you got a stop loss based off the previous candle low, the wick, and it's 4 or 5 pips. You've got enough to get to target that 1-to-1. Not a great level to buy it from though, to be honest. Anyway. This is alright on gold, pulling back. See if we have some potential options for London Open, guys. Farid buying gold 31.16. 31.16. All right, I'm assuming it's based off maybe 5-minute support. M5 support, 3,112, 3108 can work as well. Yeah, I think 3,012 basically 5-minute looks pretty good. So you might want to stagger your entries maybe if that's what you're looking for, the buyers upon the pullback. But I'm not sure, you know, what your target is and that type of thing, but that could be not a bad option, staggering your entry. So taking a small position at 31.16 and another one at 31.12 and another one at 31.08. Thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate it on TikTok. The real survivor Bob, good day to you. Yeah, this rate likely going to be waiting for the open. This closes weak bearish in the M30. Perhaps we could have an impulse buy above that bearish candle high. I mean, if this 15 closes bearish and the next one closes bullish engulfing, that could also provide a potential buy catalyst. So we'll see, guys. There still could be options. For this is pre-London, so I'm waiting. I took a scalp entry, but now I'm waiting. Nice one. At least you got a plan. Generally, 1800's London market price of gold was around £4.26 per ounce. The US official price was 19. Yeah, mate. I mean, not even that long ago, back in the 60s or 70s, gold was like $40 an ounce. Imagine back then. I mean, gold has been a bargain. It still is, to be honest. It's the only buy that, I think it's the IMF. It's the only tier 1 asset other than US dollar, I think, is gold. Pretty sure it's US dollar and gold, the only tier 1 assets in the world recognized as cash. definitely wouldn't be, you know, buying groceries in gold though, would I? Or would you? Who knows, if you're desperate, maybe. Gold's price fixed base. Yeah, it was until they took it off the gold standard. It's still priced in at some ridiculous level by the US government for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I think it's still priced in around that $35 an ounce or $42 or something they price it in. Some have said if they reevaluate the price of gold, it will fix all their problems with their debt that they keep printing. I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. I think they have to fix the price of gold to some ridiculous amount. That's to be the case. I think it's somewhere in the lines of about 50,000, 100,000. I can't remember. I've heard it before. Even if they reevaluate it to the current price, it's not going to fix their issues with the massive debt that they keep printing. For me to always take advantage of the market conditions, that's exactly what I try to do myself. That's the best way. Blamio TX. Can you check NQ? I'll check NAS. NQ is the minis contracts, isn't it? It's the exact same thing, basically. It's in a big downtrend. Let's quickly look at it. Weekly, obviously very strong bearish. Current weekly has no upper wick. Doesn't need one necessarily, so long as any resistance already created within the current weekly / daily candle is respected. So any resistance created on the minor time frame on any pullback, then we likely what we're going to do is continue down, retest the low, create a lower low. Called it many times, and many times it's happened, things like that. Daily is bearish in structure. Also counter probabilities to the downside. Also got some pretty clean traffic to the downside. As I mentioned earlier, 1830 is a decent level to target for the high time frames. Seeing we've got that lower low, lower high, not much need for us to pull back and break our own high. If we do so, perhaps we're going to bounce off this support. So there's a confluence for the buyers. 4 hour is bearish. Very, very bearish. Haven't had much of a pause at all, and it's into pretty clean traffic too. Yeah, the 4 hour's got some legs. 18,770 would be a potential target on the current low. Not even going to bother drawing in level to the upside. We're so far off it. M30 is also bearish, and that won't flip at this rate until back above 19,807 roughly. It's very, very bearish. Based off that, if it were me today, I'd only be interested in selling it, especially because we're not tapping into anything on the high time frame to the left. Could just continue down. Let's check it. Even the M30, squeaky clean traffic to the left. So for me, I'd be looking for continuation sells. Preference would be closure below, but impulse entries could be valid at the right time of day as well, based off the 15 as well. But it can't be coming from consolidation just above the support for the impulse entry. So for instance, if we're back at the highs and we approach with volume closing right near the low, I have a rule as to what will give me a valid impulse entry. My guys know exactly what that is, and if it gave me that option, I'd look for upper wick and then potential continuation. Otherwise, simply wait for a closure below, retest, clean traffic to left, good chance it will continue. Based off the 15, I'd just adjust this zone. I'd say sells from really anywhere within this level, rejecting that level higher up, 19,225. And again, I'd just be waiting for the pullbacks. The only time we'll consider counter trend entries is if we have broken the high of the daily, 4 hour counter probabilities to the upside, forming support back above the previous level. It's a nice solid structure on the M30, like so, and then perhaps starting to pop above this 19,360 sort of level. Better yet, wait for a daily to close back strong bullish and then use daily counter probabilities. It's your entry. Alright, so 15's closed on gold. It's closed strong bearish. All good. This is not bad at all what we're seeing just now. Alan, you have a sell from 31.05. Should I hold? Yeah, I'm not sure why you're trying to sell it from there. Should have a plan for that. You've been significant drawdown. I wouldn't be holding personally, but I wouldn't have let it go this far, to be honest. Plus, I wouldn't have sold it. But you asked, so that's I wouldn't hold. No way. Just being honest, mate. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm telling you the truth. I'd cut my losses just now if I were you. Sorry, Zilos, I missed that question from earlier. Can I start just 10 or 100? You can. I've got a video on that, my profile, guys, so how to get started. Micro Green, tell this guy knows how to trade. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just confident in what I do. The results, I think, show. It's just about a lot of it is patience. Well, I teach because I actually enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I get a lot of satisfaction seeing my team improve. And some of the guys, especially, I mean, one person in particular came from the background of just really not having any idea. They admit it. They actually admit it that thought they did, but didn't know pretty much a thing. Got burnt, completely burnt. Kept blowing accounts, funded accounts. Now she's funded and she gets payouts all the time. So that was probably about 2 years now. So I've had some phenomenal success. And it's all priced very reasonably, so people can, you know, everyone can learn. But no, these streams are just, I enjoy streaming, to be honest. It's good fun. I do trade with my team privately as well. I do have a session a bit after the stream today, education session. Mike, breakout, pullback, retest, and Q to get another pullback Monday in the news. Yeah, I think that is a pretty good way to go about it. Sell off resistance supply, yep. I think that's a very good way to go about it. Very simple. It's just the issue is most people can't follow that because it might take its time to provide. And they get impatient. Stuff this, I'm just going to sell it. And I get stuck in a consolidation or a pullback and she hits the fan and you wish you hadn't. All right, GJ. Still nothing. There is nothing on GJ for me. Gold looking good. Just, I mean, the cleaner, the deeper the pullback just now, more margin we have to look to buy it to the upside. So looking pretty good on gold. Thank you for the sticker. Appreciate it. More stickers. Still view. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yep, blame Miotics. It's analyze, confirm, trade. I analyze the charts based on 4 different time frames. Focus more though on the minor time frames, because they're the entry time frames. Mark up my zones based off the 4 hour and 30. And just simply wait for price to get to where I want it to get to, and wait for the right signal within price action. Using things like, you know, momentum and volume at times of the day. Mike, you trade raw price? Yeah, do exactly raw price action. I could literally trade, I've said it many times, just like that, without any zones, lines, very easily, to be honest. Mike, no problem, mate. Take care. If you assume you're off for now. Diploma Mio TX supply demand support resistance. So I trade the way I trade. So I'm drawing levels support resistance. I look for continuation. I look for trades within the range. Many different ways. I've got ways of getting involved with right in the middle of the range too. Thank you to all the new followers. Users, that good start sell? Is this good start sell? No, not for me. No. Sylvia, you reckon gold will go down? No, I don't personally. But again, I don't trade what I think will happen. I react to what I see happening. So right now, I'm still of the belief it will continue up, but I'm not just going to buy it because I think it'll go up. Already got in 31.14. Good work. Nice one. That's it, mate. It's as long as you guys are following your plan. Always happy to see others doing well. We should all just be here to support each other, have a bit of fun, analyze, look at the charts. Don't all have to agree on entries, but that's all good. GSP, welcome to you. What's your view on GU? I've actually had a look at GU just before. So, from memory, the bias is bullish, but with the M30 being at resistance and it's at a 4-hour level, 4-hour structure is technically bearish. We have recently formed support just below the resistance, so the actual 4-hour resistance is deeper. I mean, you're right at it just now, to be honest. If it did reject again and begin to pop below the most recent support at 129.50 roughly, that's where I'd be starting to look for options to sell it. For the buys, I just don't like the area it's at. You're buying it into the wicks. I'm not a believer in that. So I'd rather let it create a clean move up, pull back, form support, and then buy it, which would take time. So let's see where gold now closes. If this M30 closes weak bearish, could there be potential options to buy it at session open? 5 minute, not looking great. JJ. Nothing on JJ whatsoever for me at the moment. And 5 closed bullish for you. On the 4, oh yeah, where you got it? The 14, nice one. Well, aren't we lucky? Got the Fed chair. Head of the Fed. Stream. Fed power. I'm in a sell from 31.20. Home to see 31.08 for next buy. Well, you got a plan, so I respect that. And you're in profit, so nice work. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try to get involved in buys if it did pull back to that point. But I'm personally not in nothing just yet. Read New York session, there'll be big correction on gold, then continuation up. Yeah, a lot of the time it has tended to happen when I've knocked off for an evening, my time. Check the charts in the morning, gold's at a new all-time high. Check the charts when I actually start just prior to the stream. What do you know, gold's always of late, it's just how it's been. Tends to pull back at some point. A lot of time during London, and again, once NY kicks in, off it goes yet again. 5 minutes until session open, guys. Carl, you're done. Caught the gold push earlier. Nice one. All good, man. You take care. Yeah, you too, man. You take, have a good one. Catch you there. Not sure if we've got any lag on YouTube. Sweetie Pie, what opens in 5 minutes? London session opens in 3 minutes from now. Very possible 100, 300 pip drop to stop, but stop out early buyers. Yeah, anything could happen. So, see RSI divergence telling bearish, Vincent. Possibly, not sure, not looking at RSIs, and simple price action. Lion, I think it's going to fly without giving a pullback, and that could also happen. Anything could happen. It's reality. So what this is going to come down to for me is simple price action. I'm going to take it off the back of a bullish 15-minute candle as low high, low low to the previous candle. 30s potentially closing weak bearish, but price action is a bit choppy at the moment. So what I want to see is if London Open candle perhaps rips down, breaks the low after creating a small upper wick, then rips back up and begins to pop above this bullish candle's high. That would suggest we grab some more liquidity from the downside, perhaps at previous resistance to the left, and based off that, we're like more probable to head back up to the high. So that's something I'm probably looking out for if it presents, because otherwise I don't really have much of a confirmation to take a trade just yet. And that will be simple price action on the entry candle. Have we tapped in? Not quite. Oof. Possibly, actually. Wow. Alright, 30 is looking a little bit more interesting now. Here's over 30. High of the 30 is 31, 21 flat. Oh, it's a massive stop loss. Yeah, that's an 80 pip stop. That's not fantastic. Need to wait to see the London Open low wick, how that forms. Need a low wick. I'm not rolling with an 80 pip stop loss. Just not worth it. Especially when I get to break even at 10 and look to start securing. So it's just not worth it for me. So let's see how this candle opens. London Open, guys. Not setting anything just yet. Because I need a stop loss. I need this pullback. You're looking about maybe a 10 pip stop above the high. That's too tight. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it without more of a lower wick. It's not worth the risk. Of the 30. About 26 pip stop. Five-minute not looking too bad. Got some resistance that's approaching, which is the 30-minute high, I think. Let me mark it in. It is. Look at GJ, nothing. Then that's what I prefer. I just like trading gold. Crypto is just, you never know what could happen. It's very heavily manipulated. Forex is as well, but not as much. Alright, so there is a valid entry above that counter's high. The issue is stop loss. Now, stop loss would have to be based off the current candle. So you'd probably be in just now, to be honest. And so I've got an entry at 30. Well, I'm getting to break even. I've got 10 pips on the table. It's a quick one, guys. Yeah, alright, I've got just closed half. Alright, just TP. Alright, so I've got the TP set for now 31.30. I've got 12 pips on the table currently. And my stop loss is at break even. Very quick one, guys. Very quick one. Hard to get involved. Lucky to get stopped out in a runner. I actually got slipped a pip as well. Yeah, so it's a quick one. Really quick one. Don't know if anyone was able to get involved that quick, to be honest. Wow, you're in. Nice one. Yeah, so based off that little pause candle on the M30, had a small low. Actually created a tiny upper wick, then pulled back, created a low wick. That gave about a 27 pip stop. I would have preferred to get involved above this candle's high, but I need more of a low wick. Didn't get it. Wow, this is pumping now. 20 pips on the table. Yeah, this is moving nicely. Well done. Nice quick trade at session open. Aramito? No, it did not sell, mate. I'm running a buy. Was never interested in selling. Erafin, hello to you. Come on, gold. Look at this thing. Thing of beauty. 27 pips on the table. Alright. I'm going to close another half at 30. And that's it. I'm just going to let the rest go. Stop loss safely at break even. That's a good start to the week. Very nice work. 60 pips from entry. In some good profit. Jeremiah's, there's many. I mean, there's heaps. You just need to watch, and you'll learn on the daily if you just watch and follow. Some of the entries are very quick, really quick. That's scalping, to be honest. I mean, there could still be a re-entry depending on where this candle closes on the 30. I'd want it to close, to be honest. Actually, no, there's not going to be a re-entry because you're going to tap in. Yeah, it could be on the 15. But I was going to say limit order based on the 30, but you're about to tap into target. It's a whole nother story. So not likely going to be valid on the interruption play which just worked so well last week. Who can remember that interruption trade on gold last week? Literally tapped in and shot straight up into TP within a few seconds. That was a cracking trade. Free previous candle went to grab liquidity and then pushed up. Yep, this one, but it looks at it, yep. 100 pips, good work, my friend, well done. In one entry, high time frame analysis, good work. That's nothing at all wrong with that. Been actually sussing out the 1 minute time frame a little bit over the weekend. So the run is still in, but I've secured 75% in position. Shit, I forgot to put the before and after. Journal all my trades and put it into the group and explain in full detail why I took the trade and how I went about managing the trade for my team. Just gives them an insight as to what I was thinking when I took it and why I took it. That's a really good way to learn. Very active within the group. Appreciate all the follows, guys. Thank you. Alright, GJ, what's that up to? Yeah, just in consolidation just now. Let's quickly do around. Alright, GU. Will not personally be chasing this because again, it's entering that wick. We're high up in the fire resistance. Bit choppy, to be honest. I'd rather let it create the move, pull back. EU, similar to what I mentioned before, it's also come from well below the resistance, so a bit difficult to take the impulse entry. You don't have the margin now to the next resistance. So personally for me on EU, fact of where we're at, I'd just be looking to see if it does reject and look for an option to potentially sell it. Cleaner sells will come potentially available below 108 250 once you got the 30-minute structure. If we create the high in 21 minutes, that's where the 30-minute structure will flip back bearish. AU, my runners has been taken out, by the way. Yeah, nothing. You're a CAD at resistance, otherwise look good. EJ at support. EA. Yeah, nothing looks fantastic, to be honest. Your GCAD looks okay. But it's at resistance. If it breaks it, pops above it, closes above it. Got very clean traffic to the left. What other confluences do you have? The weekly, you've already got high, low, higher, or not just yet. But you're about to break the high of that previous candle. Long, lower wicks. Just grab liquidity from the downside to head up. Daily. Bullish kind of probabilities to the upside. 4 hour bullish at resistance. So it looks really good above that resistance. 30 is also bullish. 30, there is a very good entry point to sell it. Actually, 30 will remain bullish until these lows, technically. Lows below 185, 380 for options to sell it. I mentioned something now, I forgot. Oh, I can't remember. GJ popping back down. But Lau, good work, mate. By the way, 54k4. Anyone else? Anyone else take it? I know some of the TikTok crew were in from earlier, so you guys rock. Well done. Knit, buy or sell, bro. For me, I was just in a buy and I've secured most of, 30 pips, and now it's taking my runner out. So now I just need to let it reset again. And this is often what gold has done on the move up. It makes a quick burst, gives you your 20, 30, 40 pips, and then pulls back. And then usually continues, but it's the way I've decided to go about it. Get to break even, secure my partials, and since been taken out. So the preference is to let it pull back, but it doesn't necessarily need to. At some point it will, but it could also, for the rest of the day, who knows, it could just continue to do what it's doing. Impulse up, little pause, another impulse, without a proper pullback. This is my 4th year trading. Crazy to think a gold was at. Yeah, man, I've been trading since gold was like 1100 or around $1,000, so that's a long time ago. I remember those days. I remember my first ever mentor mentioning that gold is just way undervalued. That was swing trading, which I don't do anymore. Pack the matrix. Why did I buy there? Because we had a weak pause on the 30. To mention on stream, I want to see a bit of a pause in price action before looking for continuation buys. My one concern was stop loss. So what I need to do is wait for a low wick to form. What did happen was the new candle popped up a little bit, not much, just a pip or two, a few pips, before it pulled back to create a low wick. Small low wick. Then I'm gonna break. Chose not to take it as it broke its own high at this point because it just wasn't a wide enough stop loss. I wasn't comfortable because being gold, what it could have done, could have tagged me in and then just dropped back. Probably a bit more of low wick and then flipped again, so I don't trust that. So the next option was take it above the 30, previous M30. It's a little pause in price action. You've got a wider stop loss there, so even if it did make a bit of a pullback while I was triggered in, if it were to continue bullish, the chances are it's not going to wick back below its own low. So off the back of that, that gave me the confidence to get involved with about 26 pip stop. B036, gold is going crazy. It just continues to pump, doesn't it? The real survival bog, yeah, I took a gold buy just before. Secured partials at around 11 and just to get something on the board for a week, and around the 30, second one was. Net again, nothing right now. Ben, gold to 3100, possibly. Abdullahi, nothing right now. We've already taken a quick scalp buy, nothing just yet. B2Chi, buy or sell, nothing at the moment. You're gonna sell, fair enough. Jan, you're on a short at 22, stop at 29. Okay, interesting. I'm sure you got a reason for that, but I can't personally see it. But again, if it can work for you, I wish you luck, my friend. Hopefully it gives you some profit. Bilal, yeah, it is London Open just now. Assad, future of Solana, no idea. No clue whatsoever. I don't really follow crypto that much, to be honest. What is it? Matter of fact. Yeah. Wants me. Rehab member. What time frame is that in your screen? This is the 30. I usually flip between 15 and 30. Well, definitely bullish in gold. I'm not looking at sells, that's for sure. We have Medma, all good, no problem. Alright, GA long. Also last day of the month, guys, so just be wary of that. Likely, well, gold does whatever it wants to do, but could pull back to leave a bit of a up week. GA weekly, week bullish, but we do have that high, low, no lower wick. Daily up at resistance. Some very high levels on GA. Bullish in structure as well. 4 hour. Believe it or not, it's just flip bullish. 4 hours bullish, but again, it's at resistance. Market support on 30. 30 will flip below this point here. Got a gap at the open. It's a bit tough based on that. I'd be looking for buys, would be my preference. And it'd be either closure above this point here, 2.06414, 15 or 30. Probably this pair has quite a lot of volume, to be honest. Or I'll be looking for buys on the pullback, 205, 90, that sort of region. Very simple. You're in a buy, good work. I prefer to be in a buy, but just be cautious the level you're at. You're at some high time frame resistance. Gold continuing up. It just keeps on keeping on. I mean, if you got a closure above, it's still valid, to be honest. Yeah. What did you see on the pair? On what pair? BGT Jahmed. Yeah, gold. Look, buys above the high is still valid. You need a closure above. But I've already taken my profit for the session. I'm happy with that. Otherwise, the pullback. Alrighty, team. I'm gonna get cracking for the time being. I will be on later with my group. So you guys, I'll see you. I'll let you guys know. See you again in maybe an hour and 15, hour and a half from now. YouTube, thank you everyone for joining. Appreciate you. Well done to those who been in gold throughout the day or got in gold during the session. Well done. 6 o'clock. Appreciate you guys all for joining, and I look forward to catching you all tomorrow. The real survival board, like I mentioned, closures above on the 15. You've got the 4 hours create a lower wick now, so still could pull back a bit further. Where it could pull back to is around that 31.07, and I'd be looking for buys above it. Counter trend sellers, best blowout point there, but I still would not be doing it today. I'd be rather waiting for a catalyst, which I don't have at the moment. It's very bullish across the board, so I'd be looking for the pullback buys or buys above upon a closure above 31.25 at this rate, and that's about it. Alright, guys. Yeah, Franco, yeah.
Sorry, mate.
No, all good.
How are you?
All good, mate. And you?
Yeah, thank you. Also, maybe before you go to the question to EU.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe closing, I don't know, in the next 9 minutes. So there's potential sells when we close below this the support, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Below the
also,
108.25, 256.
Right now it's this upper wick, bearish on the bearish candle is also a good signal at the end.
Yeah, correct. But it just needs to look again. We're bouncing off that level, so it really needs to close below it.
Close, absolutely. So like also GU is also more or less looking.
Yeah, it's tough. The level it's at.
It's tough, correct. So EU is looking better, and
I agree.
okay, man. Okay, see you later then.
Pleasure, mate. Not a problem. Catch you later.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers, mate. To everyone else, once again, thank you. YouTube, TikTok. You guys take care. I will see you guys tomorrow. Till then, have a good one. Bye, guys.